What separates good leaders from great ones? It's not intelligence, it's not experience, it's not even talent. It's their ability to lead with unshakable positivity in the face of chaos. Because let's be real, challenges will come, people will doubt you, plans will fall apart. But the leaders who rise to the top are those who refuse to be controlled by negativity. They take control of their mindset, their emotions, and their vision. Leadership begins with mindset. Leadership isn't about a title, a position, or authority. It's about influence. And the foundation of that influence is mindset. Everything a leader achieves, every breakthrough, every challenge overcome, every team inspired stems from what's happening inside their mind. The way a leader thinks determines the way they act, and the way they act determines the results they create. The truth is, leadership doesn't begin when you step in front of a team. It doesn't begin when you're given responsibility. It begins the moment you take control of your thoughts and emotions. Most people operate on autopilot, reacting to situations as they come. Leaders, however, take charge of their internal world first, because they understand that their mindset will shape the energy they bring into every room, every conversation, and every decision. A leader with a weak mindset is at the mercy of circumstances. If things are going well, they feel confident and motivated. But the moment adversity strikes, they spiral into doubt, frustration, or fear. On the other hand, a leader with a strong positive mindset is unshakable. They don't wait for external validation. They don't depend on perfect conditions to lead effectively. Their strength comes from within, and because of that, they can maintain certainty even in uncertainty. The power of mindset becomes even more evident when challenges arise. Leadership isn't tested when everything is smooth. It's tested when things fall apart. A reactive mindset panics, blames, or hesitates. But a leader with a powerful mindset sees challenges as fuel. They ask, what's the lesson here? How do we turn this into an advantage? They train their minds to focus on solutions rather than problems, opportunities rather than obstacles. This mindset doesn't develop overnight. It's built through discipline and intention. Every day a leader has to make a choice. Feed their mind with empowering thoughts or let negativity take over. They guard their mental space fiercely, eliminating distractions, toxic influences, and limiting beliefs that could weaken their leadership. They take responsibility for their emotional state because they know that their energy impacts everyone around them. If they show up anxious, that anxiety spreads. If they show up determined, that determination spreads. A leader's mindset also dictates their ability to inspire and influence others. People don't just follow words, they follow energy. If a leader is uncertain, their team will hesitate. If a leader is doubtful, their team will lack confidence. But if a leader is bold, if they carry themselves with conviction, that energy becomes contagious. A team can feel whether their leader truly believes in the mission or if they're just going through the motions. And belief is what moves people. It's what creates loyalty, passion, and commitment. The biggest difference between a strong leader and a struggling one is their ability to master their emotional state. Anyone can be positive when things are easy, but a leader must be able to stay composed under pressure, make decisions without fear, and create momentum even in difficult times. That's what separates the few who rise from the many who struggle. Mindset also determines how a leader handles failure. Weak leaders take failure personally. They see it as a reflection of their abilities and allow it to break them. But great leaders see failure as feedback. They analyze it, adjust, and move forward stronger than before. They don't dwell on mistakes, they extract lessons from them. Because of this, they develop resilience, and that resilience becomes a guiding force for those who follow them. Another critical aspect of mindset is self-leadership. A leader cannot expect discipline, accountability, and excellence from others if they don't demand it from themselves first. They set the tone by their own habits, how they manage their time, how they handle stress, how they push beyond their own limits. Their actions create a standard for those around them, and that standard is what defines the culture of their team or organization. Mindset isn't just about being positive. It's about training the mind to operate at a higher level regardless of circumstances. It's about developing mental toughness, emotional control, and an unshakable belief in what's possible. A leader who masters their mindset masters their ability to create change, inspire action, and lead with power. The power of vision. Vision is the driving force behind every great leader. It is what separates those who simply manage from those who inspire. Without a clear and compelling vision, leadership becomes stagnant, reactive, and directionless. A leader without vision is like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly, responding to the waves instead of charting a course. But a leader with a powerful vision creates momentum, ignites passion, and pulls people forward with an unstoppable force. Vision is not just about setting goals. Goals are specific and measurable, but vision is bigger than that. It is the why behind the goals, the emotional force that makes people push harder, stay committed, and refuse to quit when obstacles arise. A strong vision creates a sense of purpose so compelling that it fuels action, even when motivation wavers. People don't follow numbers or strategies, they follow a cause. They follow something that stirs their emotions, something that makes them believe they are part of something bigger than themselves. The most powerful leaders in history have all had an undeniable vision. They didn't just tell people what to do, they made them see something greater, something that didn't exist yet but could. They painted a picture of the future so vividly that others couldn't help but believe in it too, and belief is the key. A leader's vision must be so strong that it creates certainty, even when logic says otherwise. It must be so clear that others feel it, see it, and become a part of it before it even materializes. A compelling vision gives people direction. Without it, teams lose focus, become discouraged, and eventually burn out. But when a leader's vision is powerful enough, it becomes a rallying cry. It becomes the force that drives people through challenges, that keeps them going when the path gets difficult. Because the reality is, every mission will face resistance. Doubts will creep in, problems will arise. If the vision is weak, people will break. But if the vision is strong enough, it will carry them through every obstacle. Vision is not just about external leadership. It starts within. A leader must first see the future clearly in their own mind before they can make anyone else believe in it. This requires deep clarity, an unshakable sense of purpose, and the ability to hold on to that vision even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Many people let the present dictate their future. They look at their current reality and think, this is all there is. But great leaders think differently. They see not what is, but what could be. They train their minds to focus on possibilities, on potential, on what's waiting just beyond the challenges. A true leader also knows that vision alone is not enough. It must be communicated effectively. If a vision is locked inside the mind of a leader, it does nothing. It has to be expressed with conviction, clarity, and emotion. People must feel the urgency of it, the excitement of it, the necessity of making it real. This is why the most influential leaders are also master communicators. They don't just talk, they inspire. They make people believe not just in them, but in the mission itself. Another crucial aspect of vision is alignment. A leader must ensure that the people around them see the same future and are working toward it with the same intensity. Vision loses power when teams are scattered, when people are unsure of what they are working toward. The best leaders create an environment where everyone is moving in the same direction, where every action is tied back to the larger mission. When this happens, momentum builds and success becomes inevitable. Vision also fuels innovation. When a leader is deeply connected to their vision, they refuse to accept limitations. They don't just solve problems, they redefine what's possible. They see roadblocks as opportunities to create new solutions. They challenge old ways of thinking and push for breakthroughs that others don't even consider. This is why visionary leaders are often the ones who revolutionize industries, shift cultures, and leave lasting impacts. A powerful vision doesn't just benefit the leader, it transforms everyone who follows it. It gives people a sense of significance, a reason to show up every day with energy and commitment. It creates an environment where people feel inspired, where they push beyond their limits, and where they grow into the best versions of themselves. Because ultimately, leadership isn't about the leader. It's about what the leader helps others become. Leading through challenges. Challenges are the ultimate test of leadership. Anyone can lead when things are going well, when the path is clear and when there are no obstacles in sight. But real leadership emerges when uncertainty, pressure, and adversity strike. It is in these moments that the strongest leaders rise, while others hesitate, retreat, or break under the weight of difficulty. The ability to lead through challenges is what separates those who merely hold positions of authority from those who inspire true transformation. A challenge is never just an external problem, it is also an internal battle. The way a leader perceives a challenge determines how they respond to it. Weak leaders see problems as threats, as signs that they are failing, as reasons to slow down or give up. Strong leaders, however, view challenges as necessary steps in the journey towards success. They understand that obstacles are not meant to stop them, but to shape them into stronger, wiser, and more effective leaders. Every great achievement in history has been built on the foundation of adversity. The strongest businesses, the most successful teams, and the most legendary leaders have all faced extreme challenges and thrived, not despite them, but because of them. One of the most critical elements of leading through challenges is the ability to control emotions. Fear, frustration, and doubt are natural reactions when faced with setbacks, but a leader cannot afford to be controlled by emotions. The energy they bring into a crisis will determine the energy of the entire team. If a leader panics, the team will panic. If a leader hesitates, the team will hesitate. But if a leader stays composed, focused, and determined, that attitude spreads to everyone around them. People take their emotional cues from leadership. A leader's mindset in difficult moments will set the tone for how the challenge is handled. Another defining quality of leaders who thrive in challenges is their ability to reframe problems. Average leaders get stuck focusing on what went wrong, who is to blame, or why things are unfair. Great leaders immediately shift their focus to solutions. They ask better questions. What is this challenge teaching us? How can we turn this into an advantage? What opportunities are hidden inside this problem? They don't dwell on what can't be changed. They channel all their energy into what can be controlled. This mindset is what allows them to stay ahead, to find innovative solutions, and to inspire confidence even in the most difficult times. Challenges also reveal the true strength of a leader's vision. When everything is easy, it's simple to stay motivated. But when obstacles arise, that's when vision is truly tested. Leaders who lack a clear vision crumble under pressure because they don't have a strong enough reason to push through. But leaders with an unshakable vision refuse to be derailed. They stay locked in on the outcome, knowing that challenges are simply part of the process. Their belief in the mission is stronger than any temporary setback, and that belief fuels them to keep going no matter what. In moments of difficulty, leaders must also make bold decisions. Uncertainty can create hesitation, but hesitation kills momentum. The best leaders understand that inaction is more dangerous than making a wrong move. They are willing to make tough choices, take calculated risks, and stand by their decisions even when the outcome is uncertain. Leadership is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating clarity through action. Every decision, even a small one, moves the team forward and builds confidence. Communication is another essential skill when leading through challenges. When a team is facing uncertainty, people naturally look to leadership for guidance. A leader must communicate with clarity, confidence, and conviction. Even when they don't have all the answers, they must provide direction. They must assure their team that challenges are temporary, that solutions are being created, and that together they will overcome whatever stands in their way. A leader who remains silent or vague in times of crisis creates confusion and doubt, while a leader who speaks with certainty and purpose instills trust and unity. Challenges also test resilience. Many people can push through one difficult situation, but true leaders endure repeated setbacks without losing drive. They adapt, they adjust, and they keep going. They do not allow failure to define them. Instead, they use failure as a tool to sharpen their skills and refine their strategies. Every challenge they face adds another layer to their strength, making them more prepared for the future. The most remarkable leaders in history have all faced tremendous challenges. They have been doubted, underestimated, and put under extreme pressure. But instead of being broken by these challenges, they became stronger because of them. They understood that leadership is not about avoiding difficulties. It's about embracing them, learning from them, and emerging on the other side with more wisdom, strength, and determination than ever before. Emotional intelligence and influence. Emotional intelligence is the secret weapon of the most powerful leaders. It is the ability to understand, manage, and direct emotions, both in oneself and in others, to create the highest level of influence. Leadership is not about commanding people to follow, it is about inspiring them to take action willingly, with passion and commitment. The strongest leaders are not necessarily the loudest or the most forceful. They are the ones who know how to connect with people on an emotional level, how to make others feel understood, valued, and driven toward a common purpose. At its core, emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. A leader who lacks self-awareness cannot effectively lead others. They are at the mercy of their emotions, reacting impulsively rather than responding with intention. A leader with emotional intelligence, however, is deeply in tune with their own mental and emotional state. They recognize their strengths, their triggers, and their areas for growth. They do not allow frustration, fear, or ego to dictate their decisions. Instead, they take full control of their internal world, ensuring that their thoughts and emotions align with their larger mission. This level of self-mastery allows them to remain calm under pressure, make clear-headed decisions, and set the emotional tone for their team. The ability to regulate emotions is one of the most critical skills a leader can develop. People naturally mirror the emotions of those around them, especially those in positions of authority. If a leader is constantly stressed, anxious, or reactive, that energy spreads to the entire team. Productivity drops, morale suffers, and the work environment becomes toxic. But when a leader exudes confidence, certainty, and resilience, that energy also spreads. A leader who can manage their emotions effectively creates a culture of strength, focus, and determination. They do not allow challenges to shake their composure. Instead, they use emotional intelligence to navigate difficult situations with poise and clarity. Beyond self-awareness and regulation, emotional intelligence also involves a deep understanding of others. Great leaders do not just hear, they listen. They pay attention to what is being said, but also to what is not being said. They pick up on body language, tone, and subtle cues that reveal the true emotions behind a person's words. They know when someone is struggling, when someone needs encouragement, and when someone needs to be challenged. This ability to read people allows them to tailor their communication in a way that resonates deeply, making their influence far more powerful. Influence is not about control, it is about connection. People do not follow orders, they follow leaders they trust and respect. Trust is built when a leader demonstrates empathy, when they show that they genuinely care about the people they are leading. A leader who operates purely from logic and authority may get compliance, but a leader who leads with emotional intelligence creates loyalty. When people feel understood and valued, they give more of themselves to the mission. They go beyond what is required because they believe in the leader and the vision they represent. Empathy is a crucial component of emotional intelligence. Many people mistake empathy for weakness, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful tools a leader can possess. It allows a leader to see situations from different perspectives, to understand the challenges and concerns of their team, and to make decisions that balance both logic and humanity. A leader who lacks empathy makes decisions that alienate people, while a leader who applies empathy creates alignment and unity. Communication is another key aspect of emotional intelligence and influence. Words alone do not inspire people. How those words are delivered does. A leader who speaks with passion, certainty, and authenticity moves people emotionally. They do not rely on data alone. They tell stories, they create visions, they evoke emotions that drive action. Influence is about making people feel something powerful enough that they are compelled to take action, to push beyond their limits, to believe in something greater than themselves. A leader with emotional intelligence understands the balance between challenging and supporting their team. They know when to push someone beyond their comfort zone and when to provide reassurance. They recognize that people are driven by different motivators. Some need encouragement, some need accountability, and some need to feel a sense of contribution. By understanding these individual differences, a leader can tailor their approach to bring out the best in each person. The most influential leaders in the world are not those who command people to follow them. They are the ones who inspire people to believe in a vision, to commit to a cause, to take action with passion and determination. They achieve this not through force, but through the mastery of emotional intelligence. They lead with self-awareness, regulate their emotions with precision, connect with others on a deep level, and communicate in a way that moves people to action. This is the essence of influence. And this is what separates great leaders from everyone else. Creating a culture of positivity is one of the most powerful things a leader can do. It is not about blind optimism or pretending that challenges don't exist. It is about shaping an environment where people feel empowered, driven, and inspired to bring their best selves every day. Positivity is not just an attitude. It is a strategy, a tool that fuels performance, enhances creativity, and strengthens resilience. The best leaders understand that culture is not something that happens by accident. It is something that is built with intention, reinforced through actions, and protected with unwavering commitment. A culture of positivity starts with leadership. A leader's energy, mindset, and behavior set the tone for the entire organization. If a leader constantly focuses on problems, complains, or reacts negatively to setbacks, that negativity spreads. People begin to feel drained, uninspired, and hesitant to take risks. But when a leader brings energy, confidence, and enthusiasm, it becomes contagious. People feed off the emotions of those around them, especially those in positions of authority. A leader who shows up every day with a strong, positive mindset creates an atmosphere where challenges are seen as opportunities, where effort is recognized, and where people feel excited to contribute. Positivity is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing the most effective way to respond to it. Every workplace, every team, every organization will face obstacles. A culture of positivity does not eliminate difficulties, but it does change how those difficulties are approached. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, a positive culture shifts the focus to solutions. Instead of fearing failure, it encourages learning and growth. When people work in an environment where mistakes are seen as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, they become more innovative, more courageous, and more willing to take bold action. One of the key elements in building a positive culture is recognition. People do not just work for money, they work for meaning. They want to feel valued, appreciated, and seen for their contributions. A leader who actively acknowledges effort, progress, and success creates a culture where people feel motivated to give their best. Recognition does not have to be grand. Even a simple acknowledgement, a genuine thank you, or a public appreciation can have a massive impact. When people feel that their work matters, they become more engaged, more committed, and more invested in the success of the organization. Communication is another essential aspect of fostering positivity. Transparency builds trust, and trust strengthens culture. In an environment where people feel uncertain, excluded, or uninformed, negativity thrives. But when leaders communicate openly, share the vision, and ensure that everyone understands the bigger picture, people feel connected to the mission. They feel like they are part of something important, something worth investing their energy in. Great leaders do not just dictate, they inspire. They make sure that every person on the team understands their role in the larger vision and feels empowered to contribute to it. A culture of positivity is also deeply tied to growth. People want to be in environments that challenge them, that push them to become better versions of themselves. Stagnation breeds negativity, while growth fuels excitement and engagement. Leaders who invest in the development of their teams through mentorship, training, and opportunities create an atmosphere of continuous improvement. When people see that they are growing, when they feel that their potential is being realized, their energy shifts. They stop simply going through the motions and start striving for excellence. Another critical component is how challenges are handled. In a negative culture, setbacks lead to blame, frustration, and fear. People become afraid to take risks, afraid to make mistakes, afraid to step outside of their comfort zones. But in a positive culture, challenges are approached with resilience. Problems are tackled with a mindset of progress rather than defeat. Leaders who cultivate this mentality do not avoid difficulties. They teach their teams how to navigate them with confidence. They reinforce the idea that setbacks are not failures, but rather necessary steps on the path to success. Positivity is also about the energy people bring into the environment. A strong leader does not tolerate toxic behavior, negativity, or mediocrity. They set high standards not just for results, but for attitudes, interactions, and collaboration. They create a space where people lift each other up rather than tear each other down. When positivity is ingrained in the culture, it becomes the norm. People begin to expect excellence from themselves and from each other. They hold themselves accountable not just for what they do, but for how they do it. Ultimately, a culture of positivity is not built overnight. It is cultivated through consistency, reinforced through leadership, and strengthened by every interaction within the organization. It is not about being positive when things are easy. It is about maintaining that energy even when things get tough. Leaders who commit to this mindset create teams that are stronger, more engaged, and more resilient. They build organizations that thrive not just because of what they achieve, but because of how they achieve it. Resilience is the foundation of every great leader. It is the ability to stand firm when everything around you is shaking, to push forward when others give up, and to maintain your belief in the vision even when the odds are stacked against you. Leadership is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about mastering the ability to rise above them. Every leader who has ever achieved something extraordinary has faced setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But what separates them from the rest is their unshakable belief. A belief so strong that no obstacle, no criticism, no temporary defeat can break it. Resilience is not something people are born with. It is built, it is forged in the fire of adversity. In the moments when everything seems to be falling apart, yet a leader makes the decision to keep going. The greatest leaders in history did not succeed because their path was easy. They succeeded because no matter how hard things got, they refused to break. They faced rejection, they faced failure, they faced resistance, but they never wavered in their belief. That belief gave them the energy to stand tall when others crumbled. It gave them the fuel to fight for their vision when the world told them it was impossible. The key to resilience is understanding that setbacks are not signs to stop, they are signals to adjust and strengthen. Every challenge is a lesson, every failure is a stepping stone, and every difficulty is an opportunity to grow. Weak leaders see obstacles as walls that block them. Strong leaders see them as stairs that elevate them. They do not get consumed by frustration or self-doubt. Instead, they ask themselves, what is this teaching me? How can I use this? How do I turn this into my advantage? This mindset transforms adversity from something that weakens them into something that builds them. Resilience is also about endurance. Many people can push through one difficult moment, but true leaders push through every difficult moment. They do not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. They do not let frustration force them into retreat. They understand that the road to success is not a straight path, it is filled with twists, turns, detours, and delays. But instead of feeling defeated by these challenges, they embrace them as part of the journey. They train their minds to expect difficulty, so when they arise, they do not react with fear or hesitation. They face them with certainty and action. A leader's ability to stay focused on the vision is what separates them from the majority. Most people give up not because they lack talent or ability, but because they lack the belief to keep going when things get tough. They let outside circumstances dictate their level of commitment. But true leaders make a decision that no matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, they will not stop until they achieve what they set out to do. That level of commitment, that unshakable belief, is what creates breakthrough. Belief is powerful because it creates certainty. When a leader has unshakable belief, they do not hesitate, they do not second guess, and they do not allow doubt to control them. They move forward with conviction, and that conviction inspires everyone around them. People follow confidence, people follow certainty, people follow a leader who knows where they are going and refuses to be stopped. This is why the strongest leaders are also the most influential. They do not just speak about their vision, they embody it. Their energy, their actions, and their mindset radiate belief so strongly that others can't help but believe in it too. Resilience and unshakable belief also require emotional control. There will be moments of frustration, moments of disappointment, moments when everything seems to be going wrong, but great leaders do not allow emotions to dictate their actions. They do not react impulsively, they do not let negativity consume them, and they do not make decisions based on fear. Instead, they step back, they recenter, and they take control of their mindset. They know that emotions are temporary, but commitment is permanent. Resilience is also strengthened through preparation. Leaders who build strong foundations before challenges arise are the ones who withstand the storm. They train their minds, they develop habits that keep them strong, and they surround themselves with people who elevate them rather than drain them. They feed their belief by constantly reminding themselves why they started in the first place. They stay connected to their mission, they protect their energy, and they take care of their mental and physical state so that when challenges come, they are ready. The truth is, no one succeeds without facing difficulties. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who quit is simple. The ones who succeed are the ones who keep going. They are the ones who refuse to let temporary pain destroy a lifelong vision. They are the ones who stand tall when the world tries to break them. They are the ones who make the decision again and again that no matter what happens, they will not stop. Serving before leading. True leadership is not about power, authority, or control. It is about service. The greatest leaders in history did not rise to the top because they demanded loyalty or commanded obedience. They became leaders because they served first. They put the needs of others ahead of their own. They lifted people up, and they built a culture where the mission came before personal gain. Leadership is not about standing above others. It is about standing with them, guiding them, and helping them become the best version of themselves. Serving before leading requires a shift in mindset. Many people think leadership is about taking charge, making decisions, and giving orders. But the most impactful leaders understand that their job is to create an environment where others can succeed. They do not seek followers, they build more leaders. They are not focused on their own success, they are focused on the success of their team. When a leader operates from a place of service, they gain the respect, trust, and loyalty of the people around them. They do not have to demand commitment because people willingly give it. Service-based leadership starts with understanding the needs of others. A great leader does not assume they know everything. They listen, they observe, they ask questions. They take the time to understand what their people need, not just in terms of resources and tools, but also in terms of motivation, growth, and personal fulfillment. When leaders truly care, it shows. People do not want to work for someone who only sees them as a means to an end. They want to work for someone who values them, someone who believes in them, and someone who is willing to invest in their success. One of the most powerful ways a leader serves is by leading by example. Words are meaningless if they are not backed by action. A leader who expects their team to work hard must work harder. A leader who wants their team to be disciplined must be the most disciplined. A leader who asks for commitment must be fully committed themselves. When people see a leader who is willing to do the work, who shows up every day with passion, who holds themselves to the highest standards, they follow. Not because they have to, but because they want to. Serving before leading also means empowering others. Weak leaders hold people back because they are afraid of losing control. Strong leaders give their people the tools, the knowledge, and the confidence to take ownership of their roles. They do not micromanage. They do not try to do everything themselves. They trust their people. They create an atmosphere where individuals feel empowered to make decisions, take risks, and grow. When leaders put service before ego, they create teams that are self-sufficient, driven, and capable of achieving extraordinary results. Service-based leadership is also about recognition. A great leader does not take credit for everything, they share it. They celebrate the achievements of their team, they acknowledge hard work, and they make sure people feel valued. When people feel appreciated, they perform at a higher level. They become more invested, more engaged, and more willing to go the extra mile. Recognition is not just a reward, it is fuel that drives performance, builds loyalty, and strengthens a culture of excellence. Another key element of serving before leading is making sacrifices. Leadership is not always comfortable, requires putting others before yourself, making difficult decisions, and sometimes doing things that are inconvenient or challenging. A leader who serves does not look for the easy path. They look for the right path. They are willing to sacrifice their comfort, their time, and even their personal interest to ensure the success of the team. That level of dedication creates an unbreakable bond of trust between a leader and their people. Trust is the foundation of leadership, and trust is built through service. When a leader consistently shows up for their team, when they prove that they genuinely care, when they prioritize people over personal gain, trust grows. And when trust is present, everything changes. People work harder, they take more initiative, and they push beyond their limits, not because they have to, but because they believe in the leader and the vision they represent. A leader who serves first creates a legacy that lasts. They do not just achieve success for themselves, they build something greater than themselves. They develop people who go on to lead, who carry the same values, and who continue to serve others. Leadership is not about how many people follow you, it is about how many people you lift up. The most extraordinary leaders understand this truth, and it is why they do not just create success in the moment, they create success that lasts for generations. Taking massive action, success in leadership, business, and life does not come from good intentions alone. It comes from massive action. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who remain stuck is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the willingness to take bold, decisive action consistently. Ideas are meaningless without execution. Dreams are worthless without movement. The greatest leaders, the most successful people in any field, are not the ones who sit back and analyze forever. They are the ones who take action, adjust, and keep pushing forward no matter what stands in their way. Massive action is not about being busy, it is about being effective. Many people confuse movement with progress. They spend hours planning, preparing, and thinking about what they are going to do, but they never actually do it. They let fear, doubt, or perfectionism hold them back, waiting for the right moment to start, but the truth is there is no perfect moment. The right time is always now. The best leaders and achievers understand this. They do not wait for certainty, they create it through action. They do not hesitate until they feel confident. They build confidence by taking action, learning, and adapting along the way. Taking massive action means committing fully. It means burning the bridges that lead back to comfort, abandoning excuses, and deciding that nothing will stand in the way of success. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack commitment. They start with enthusiasm, but the moment things get difficult, they slow down or stop altogether. Massive action requires a different mindset, one that says, I will do whatever it takes, I will keep going until I make this happen, I will not stop. That level of commitment forces growth, demands creativity, and ultimately leads to results that most people never experience. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles to action. People fear failure, fear rejection, fear the unknown, but the strongest leaders act despite fear. They understand that fear is not a signal to stop, it is a signal to push forward. Every great success story is filled with moments where fear could have won, but the people who achieve greatness are the ones who felt the fear and took action anyway. They knew that every failure was just another step towards success. They knew that hesitation and overthinking would only keep them stuck. They embraced discomfort, stepped into uncertainty, and made things happen. Massive action also requires speed. Many people miss out on opportunities because they hesitate. They analyze, they doubt, they wait for more information. But by the time they are ready, the opportunity is gone. The best leaders and achievers move fast. They make decisions quickly and adjust as they go. They understand that momentum is everything. The longer you wait, the harder it is to start. But when you take fast, decisive action, you build momentum that carries you forward with unstoppable energy. Progress fuels confidence, confidence fuels more action, and that cycle creates unstoppable success. Another key to taking massive action is persistence. Most people take action for a short time and expect immediate results. When they do not see success right away, they slow down or quit. But the strongest leaders know that success is a game of endurance. It is about staying in the game longer than anyone else. They push through obstacles, they keep refining their approach, and they refuse to give up until they reach their goal. Every failure, every setback, every rejection only fuels them to go harder. They understand that most people quit right before the breakthrough happens, so they keep going no matter what. Massive action also means taking ownership. Weak leaders blame circumstances, the economy, other people, or lack of resources. Strong leaders take full responsibility. They do not wait for perfect conditions, they create them. They do not waste time complaining about what they do not have, they maximize what they do have. They understand that no one is coming to save them and that success is in their hands. They take control of their mindset, their energy, their strategy, and they take action every single day to move closer to their goals. Taking massive action does not mean being reckless. It means being relentless. It means refusing to accept mediocrity. It means deciding that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fail, no matter what obstacles come your way, you will not stop until you achieve what you set out to do. That level of action, that level of intensity is what separates the average from the extraordinary. The world does not reward people who think about success. It rewards those who make it happen. Conclusion: in leadership, the power to inspire, transform, and achieve greatness lies not in titles or authority, but in the mindset and actions of the leader. Leadership is rooted in service, a commitment to putting others first, understanding their needs and guiding them towards success. True leaders lead by example, offering their time, energy, and expertise to support the growth of their teams. They don't just tell others what to do, they show them the way, creating an environment where people feel empowered to take risks, innovate, and reach their full potential. The strength of a leader's resilience and belief is paramount. Challenges are inevitable, but a leader's ability to face adversity with unshakable belief, to continue pressing forward despite setbacks, defines their success. Resilience isn't simply about enduring, it's about maintaining a mindset that enables growth through every difficulty. This unwavering belief fuels progress and inspires others to stay committed even in the face of obstacles. Massive action is the engine that drives success. It's not enough to have a vision or plan. The true power lies in the courage to act decisively and relentlessly. Success is not reserved for those who think or plan the most, it's for those who do. Leaders who take massive action turn their ideas into reality through determination, speed, and persistence. They understand that hesitation and fear are natural, but they refuse to let them stop their momentum. Every action they take builds confidence and brings them closer to their goals. The essence of leadership, then, is not found in mere titles or authority, but in service, resilience, action, and belief. Leaders who dedicate themselves to serving others, who build resilience through adversity, and who take massive action without hesitation are the ones who create lasting success, not just for themselves, but for those they lead. This approach to leadership fosters a culture of growth, trust, and collaboration, setting the foundation for a future where everyone rises together.